Well, let's get started. Welcome to Crypto Global. Um, we have a special guest and inventor this evening, Mr. Norbert Hauser from Germany. Crypto Global is a unique platform um, that helps people going into the digital space. This is all where we're going. You know, as a cryptocurrency trader, I found it imperative to create a hub where all the information is, anything in the digital world, in a crypto world. And we're really helping people, transforming into this new age. And with that also, there is a huge responsibility on health. And this is where Mr. Heusser comes in because, having the privilege on all this wonderful technology which we enjoy, um, it does come with major health issues and warnings and whatnot, and we have the answers for that, where we can have the privileges on using all these technology but also be protective. So please welcome, this is Mr. Norbert Heusser from Germany.
Hi, good day to you, all of you. Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. I see Charles Gregory up from New York, right? Was it New York, Gregory? Mr. Gregory?
From Clearwater from your home.
Oh, you're the Charles from Clearwater, okay.
Yes.
And the gentleman you just had on the line up from New York, New Jersey?
Yes, I'm in New York, New York City.
Okay. How do you pronounce your first name?
Isaiah.
Isaiah, okay. And Jasmine, have you blocked off your microphone?
Good evening, gracious evening.
Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Good.
Thank you for having us.
Well, it's a pleasure and my privilege to have you. I think, Anya, tonight we have a time limit. What is the time limit when we will finish at?
We're going to speak about this topic for an hour. You can ask questions, of course.
Okay.
Um,
So we're finishing 8:10. Is it 8:10, 2010?
yeah, give and take. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Can you give us a warning 10 minutes before we finish for
Sure.
last round? Okay, guys. Now, I always love, I give workshops worldwide, and they usually last a day or two. And I don't like in workshops and seminars when the people say, okay, at the end of the seminar, you have a 30 minutes question and answers. I don't like it for a simple reason, because if after what I say, after 2 or 5 minutes, you have something you completely disagree or misunderstand, or you don't understand, you want to get rid of this immediately and clarify it and not hang on to this with your mind for an hour, 5 hours, 10 days till you can ask it. So don't hesitate. If I say something stupid or something you don't agree with or you don't understand, please immediately interrupt and let's clarify it. Not that I know everything. If you're lucky, I can answer it, but I don't want you to sit there and being not in agreement. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. My name is Norbert. I'm a German citizen. I have a green card, live in the United States for the last 20 years. However, my main office and my company headquarters and my development and production is all in Germany. And I decided to live in Florida for various reasons. One reason is my American family, which means all my wife and kids and grandkids are Americans. And so I live here in Florida with my family. And usually when we don't have Corona times, I'm in Europe 4 or 5 times a year to travel Europe for workshops and to be in the company in the headquarters. But nowadays with cell phones and internet and FedEx, you can do a lot of things all over the planet. If you have any further questions in regards to myself, please don't hesitate. And I like to inform up front, I've never been to university. I left high school. I've never been to college. And I take it as a privilege that I've never been to university, because this way I never have a obligation with any faculty, and I can step on anybody's blue suede shoes, including my own one. I don't care. If I find something better tomorrow, I will change immediately. I'm not attached to my name or my company or what I'm doing. I'm just looking for possibly true information, and I can be wrong. So far, so good?
Independent thought is wonderful.
Now, is there anybody who has a question already now in your arsenal? No? Okay. All right. The topic is electromagnetic radiation, which is nowadays known, very widely known, became known, more known under 4G and 5G. The names 4G and 5G. What does that mean? Simply, when we first had wireless cell phone technology, we're talking here about 1981. That was what we call 1G, the G stands for generation, the first generation of cell phones. Then 1992 came out the second generation of cell phones, where you could, besides making a cell phone calls, you could start to text message. In 2001 came the third generation, and the fourth generation came out about 2010. That's the time when I pushed the brakes, because I saw how my grandchild being just born, was suffering of these electromagnetic radiation. And I said something has to be done about it, because children don't have a lobby. And every doctor I talked to had no idea about all this. And I found out that doctors until today in university are never taught about what is called electromagnetic radiation. Some say electromagnetic fields. So where do we find electromagnetic radiation?
It's 1915.
Okay. We find these in cell phones, or smartphones as they say them today, in GPS, in Wi-Fi, in smart meters, in cars, in regular combustion chamber cars, yes, electric cars, which are the devil, in tablets, in computers. Everywhere is electromagnetic radiation. And it became very known since they started 5G. I was pointing out the problems about this starting 10 years ago, and people would not listen at all and had no idea what I was talking about. Now I can feel that people coming out and find that something may be going on here. So yes, it is. Now, the 5G, which are coming out now, or which just they rolled it out, and for your information, 6G is already in the making, which is even more devastating. Now, always people think 5G came out this year or last year, which is not true. 5G has been developed for the American Army, and the British Army and the Canadian Army joined. We're talking here about the 60s. So since the 1960s, that technology we consider now as new has been used by the armies across the world very successfully to control people and to kill people and to harm people. Because the 5G technology makes our life very sexy and very fluffy. Nobody of us wants to drop their cell phone or their smartphones, their computers, their laptops, their Wi-Fi, their GPSs. And I myself use all these things. And I'm one of these people who use them from day one because I love technology. So nobody wants to live without it. And in fact, most of the people even cannot live without it. I wouldn't be able to run my business as we speak today. I wouldn't be able to run my business without cell phones, without Wi-Fi, without this electromagnetic radiation technology. That's okay. The problem is they never told us about the danger of it until very recently. You know, the cigarette industry one day had to print on their packaging that smoking may cause cancer. And believe it or not, today I was happily surprised when my friends from from Cryptor Global forwarded me an information. Now, Anya, can you show that information on the screen?
I actually send it already to almost everybody that's on the group, but I will forward it. It literally just came out. So now we have a warning that when you purchase any of these smart devices, whether it's a Samsung or an Apple or even the watch, that there is a warning on it that is causing threats to your health, cancer and reproductive.
Mm.
I mean, it's just mind-boggling, and they do that, of course, because now we cannot pursue them for that.
Mhm.
They're being harmed. So it's at your choice to use it. But luckily, we have the answer, and that's why I'm on such a mission to share this information. We're very blessed to have Mr. Heusser with the knowledge and the mission that he has been on for many years, and to share that knowledge with people globally is just imperative.
I agree with everything except for Mr. Heuser. Drop the Mr. Heuser, please. So I guess you guys have in front of you that warning, and it says clearly cancer and reproductive harm. That is the truth. As I said, it was designed as a weapon. Now, you have to understand that no mobile phone manufacturer and no carrier like the T-Mobiles and whatever the name is out there, none of them had ever to prove that this technology is harmless. None of them had ever to prove that. No FDA, no government, nothing. Nobody touches it because the biggest business is too big. Too much money involved. Now imagine we had so far 4G, which was for the last 10 years, the technology which was bad enough. It's different bad than 5G. It's not that 5G is worse, they're different bad. Now you cannot even get an insurance by Lloyd's in London, which is the world's biggest insurance company, I believe. You can insure everything from Liberace's hand fingers he insured to the titties of a nude dancer. You can insure anything, everything with Lloyd's, but you cannot insure Wi-Fi, electromagnetic technology. They will not insure it because they understand what's going to happen down the road. And in the old manual of iPhone, which came out as a PDF, like 230 pages, whatever, which you read on a Saturday evening comfortably, 230 pages, it said somewhere on page 192, don't hold the phone against your skin. So how you do that when you have your phone in your hand? You don't hold it against your skin? They tried to prevent people from suing them, and I believe it was Bill Clinton who passed a law that you cannot sue companies who are using electromagnetic radiation. Passed a law, you cannot sue them down the road. Impossible. Good. So that's what it is. The problem is we cannot get rid of this technology. We could, if we would use, instead of Wi-Fi, if we would use fiber optic. Fiber optic is completely safe, completely harmless, and faster than Wi-Fi. Like South Korea did fiber optic. So, but the fiber optic business is not as big as Wi-Fi, and you cannot easily control the people like the 5G will do. So as we now can live without it, I started 10 years ago, first only for my children and my family, to develop technology to handle this. So I can have my cake and I can eat it. So I can use my cell phone and I'm protected. So I came up with this fellow here. I had the idea, the invention, to create like a check card design, extremely thin and light. And you just take your phone and stash it between your phone and, for example, your covering case, just on the back side. Or if you don't have a case, you just, with double scotch tape, you just put it on the phone. So once you have it on the phone, I guarantee for 5 years that at the moment 4G and 5G is completely harmless to your body. And for the people who may be interested in, I'm already working on 6G, because 6G is coming out. It's not taking a long time. And so I'm already preparing the ground for 6G. Whenever they come out with something new, I always try to be not ahead of them, but be right on their toes. So when they come out a week, a month later, of course I know already before they're coming out with it, so I'm preparing the grounds. So the easiest way to protect yourself and to use the cell phone, smartphone, without having any medical consequences is this protector, which I just showed you. Now, a lot of companies say out there that they protect your phone. First of all, over the last 10 years, about 99% of all the products I ever tested do not work or not enough. And that's the problem, of course, because the average consumer cannot test. Does it work or does it not work? And if a company says, oh yes, we're gonna reduce or we're gonna block the electromagnetic radiation, that should be a red flag for you that they don't know what they're talking about or they take you for a fool. I understand that everybody understands physics and I don't understand it, but I understand enough to know if you want to make a phone call with a cell phone or you want to work with your Wi-Fi, you must have electromagnetic radiation, without which it does not work. So you must have it. So if a company says we block it, if that's true, you couldn't make a phone call with your cell phone. Impossible. So that's a bit strange, but you know, it's snake oil, but you cannot detect that. So for me to get around this, in the past, I did some tests on people in my workshops and on my videos on YouTube, which I call kinesiology tests, which is translated as muscle testing. With the muscle testing, I could prove it, but some people accept it, some people not. So I was lucky last year to find a company in Austria called BESA, B-E-S-A, B-E-S-A. BESA scientifically tested all my products and gave me testimonials and certificates that my products do exactly what I tell they do. What I say they do, they tested it. They gave me, and for all my products, a total of more than 1,500 pages of expertise and literature, which are all on my German website in German, as the companies in Austria, where they speak German, kind of German. And many of these pages I already translated into English, which is available. So people don't have to trust me. People don't have to hope. There's clear scientific proof that the products do what we say they do. And I'm very happy and proud of that. And it was very costly, of course. Good. That's about the cell phone. Any questions so far? Are you guys still there? Hello?
Still here. No questions from me.
No questions?
No
Okay.
questions.
Did you say a question?
No questions.
No questions. All right. Good. Jasmine, you switched off the phone because you're cooking or so, I guess. You have any questions, Jasmine? No? Okay. All right. Good. So most of the people, and not everybody, uses a smartphone. So it would be very essential to protect yourself with a smartphone, which to the most part does a great job. However, when I started 10 years ago, it was all about the phones, the mobile phones. Since then, something exploded in this world, the amount of Wi-Fi stations. And I realized when I did the smartphone protection, it's not enough. Because even if I don't have a Wi-Fi at home, which most of us, everybody has Wi-Fi at home, but even if you would have none at home, you would be penetrated with the Wi-Fis of 5, 6, 8, 10 of your neighbors. So even if you don't have Wi-Fi, you go, if things are normal again, you go to Starbucks, you go to a movie theater, you go to a bathroom, you go to a hotel, restaurants, even schools, kindergartens, hospitals. You have everywhere, you have Wi-Fi. And I pointed out the other day, which I would like to repeat, if you take a free app download called Fing, F-I-N-G, and download this Fing app to your smartphone, you can see right now and then how many penetration of different Wi-Fi stations are bombarding your body. To how many Wi-Fis are you exposed? And we did a test in Switzerland in a hospital, actually in 2. And in the hospital, we found the place where we were at in the hospital, in the center, we found 1,200 Wi-Fi connections. So we as a visitor, and of course the patients, are permanently bombarded with about 1,200 Wi-Fi feeds, which are all electromagnetic radiation. This is suicidal. This is completely suicidal. Okay, so I said, okay, cell phone is not enough. I got to do more. I got to protect the house. So I came up with this guy here. It's called Smart Defender. I named it Smart Defender in answer of the smart meters. You may know what smart meters are. They put them outside of your house to read the usage of your electricity and water. So they don't need to do it manually. They do it by Wi-Fi, 24/7, 365 days a year, all the rest of your life. They read your meters with through Wi-Fi. So, and these are called smart meters. So I call this guy Smart Defender. This is a round disk, no electricity, no battery, no nothing. I call it a quantum physics computer. That's what it is, a quantum physics computer. So I programmed this quantum physics computer, which you just put in your house, upside down, left, right, doesn't matter, on a shelf, on the floor, on the ceiling, it doesn't matter, anywhere. And this big fellow covers you in a radius of 150 feet. So if you put this, let's say, in the center of your house, 150 feet in radius, which means 300 feet in diameter, you're protected. This is half a football field. And why did I make such a big space? Well, if you're a bit richer and you have 4 or 5 sleeping rooms, and you may have a front garden and a backyard, and the kids are playing outside, and there's a barbecue area, you want to have this all protected, not only the house itself. This works through walls. And it not only works 150 feet radius, horizontal, 2-dimensional, it works 150 feet in a globe, which means the 3rd, 4th, 5th floor are covered as well in a sphere. So, and it covers your GPS in a house or what you have, your cell phones, your smart meters on the house, your Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi from the neighbors, cell phones in the house, wireless phones, very dangerous in the house. It covers all that, dirty electricity, it covers all that. Questions?
No question.
No? Okay.
What do you mean when you say dirty electricity?
Okay. When electricity in the world started, the first engineers knew that they're going to screw up the world. All the entire problems we have nowadays in electromagnetic radiation, it's all built on electricity. And the electricity projects frequencies which are harmful to your body. This is why you should have in a normal way, you should have no electricity around your bed, because the electricity cables are harming your body, which are running around your bed. And there are frequencies in this electricity which are harmful. And again, we harm these frequencies, the same like the cell phone. The cell phone emits frequencies and the Wi-Fi connection to the cell phone, which are harmful to your body. And my technology turns the harmful frequency in harmony, from chaos into harmony. And this chaos in the frequency, this harms your body, not the frequency itself, the chaos in the frequency. So we harm the frequency, we call it nullify. We nullify the bad frequency. Yes? Jasmine?
Very good. Thank you.
All right. So once I did the big plate, I said, that's it. I can go to the beach. I'll become rich now. I watch the birds and take care of my grandkids. And then I woke up and say, oh crap. People say, look, this is beautiful, but I just have a small one-room apartment. I have an office which is not that big. Do I have to buy this bigger unit? Can you make a cheaper one? I said, okay, sure I can. So I made a second version, which is much smaller and much lighter, which covers, instead of 150 feet radius, which covers, which covers 30 feet. Sorry, I have to think in meters and convert it. So 150 feet, 30 feet. So if I have, it does exact same thing, and by the way, all these products, these now are guaranteed for 10 years. So when you have a small office, small one-room apartment, and so on, you just need these here. And I'll put these in the school bags of my grandkids. So when they go to school with the school bags, they sit in the school, because all schools have Wi-Fi. All schools on the long stretch kill the children. We don't need to wait for Corona. The schools do that. So that's the medium part. So I said, okay, that's cool. So you guys, you have something for a small apartment. Then I sat down again at the beach, watched the birds go by and my children and my grandkids. And then I woke up again and said, oh Christ, I got to do something else. Because what happens now, wherever you go, there is Wi-Fi. Even if you start your own car, you already are in the midst of electromagnetic radiation. What a lot of people don't know, that the average electric car already creates electromagnetic radiation. You hardly ever hear this, right? But that's a fact. And as I said, electric car is the devil. So I had to do something which was completely light mobile when you leave the house. So I made this fellow here, and I made it with a hole for the reason, like for example, I have it on my keychain, okay? I have it on my keychain. So basically wherever I go, I have my keychain. I step in the car, I have my keychain. I'm protected in the car. I'm passing by hundreds and thousands of transmission towers. I'm protected. I go to a restaurant, I take the key with me, I'm protected, and so on and so forth. So I created this one for personal use when I leave the house. And this one covers a radius of 15 feet, which is plenty for one person or a couple when they drive the car or go out. When I check in the hotel, I put this on my nightstand and I'm covered whatever goes on in the hotel or when I'm with other people in their places. So I created this mobile one. And that's the last product in that particular range of protecting from electromagnetic radiation. So at the end of the day, what do you need? 24/7 protection. One for the cell phone. Depending on your size of your house, apartment, either one of those, and this when you leave the house. So basically with 3 products, you can cover yourself 24/7 against all electromagnetic radiation. On top of that, I fly a lot. So I took a Geiger counter which measures the radiation, with me on the airplane. I think nowadays they would pull the machine gun and get me out of the airplane. But when I did it, it was okay. The captain rolled his eyes and the stewardesses rolled their eyes. But I took a Geiger counter with me on the airplane because I wanted to know what is the radiation on the airplane. The radiation is the most dangerous thing in this world. So, and the airlines know that. The airlines know that. So I took a measurement. When we're here on the ground, we have a natural radiation, which we live with since eons. I measured in the airplane, the radiation is approximately 30 times higher than on the ground. And the air pilot captains by profession have one of the highest or the highest cancer rate by profession in the world. And the airlines know it. It's very bad, and it kills their DNA, of course, like all radiation does. So, and these units I showed you, of course, I tell people and I tell them, take them with you on the airplane. So the radiation in the airplane is no more harm to you. We nullify the information whenever it's negative. We take the negative part out, the chaos, and turn it into harmony. Yes, my friends, that's basically all. If you want to live your life as we do it now, and we all want it, we want to have a sexy life, fluffy, entertainment, easy, smooth, don't move your butt too much, let other people work for you, whatever your lifestyle is, there's one thing we have all in common. That is that we will all be harmed, no matter how poor or how rich we are, no matter in which country we live, in which city. We are all harmed permanently 24/7 by electromagnetic radiation. And this goes on for the last 60 years. And with the cell phones for the last 40 years. Now, usually people, most of the cases, don't develop cancer overnight. Like I used to work a lot with alcoholics. And when you're an alcoholic, you don't have a liver cirrhosis after drinking for 2 years. It takes some 10, 20 years while the body's fighting it and trying to get through with it and eventually gives up. I was last year interviewed on 50 radio stations across America. What happened was in a school in California, in the school, 3, 4 teachers and 3 pupils, students developed cancer. And they found out, which was easy to find out, that on the school ground, on the playground of the school, there was a transmission towers for Wi-Fi. When that story hit, the company who set up this tower immediately dismantled it to get out of the media. By the way, the school received every year $25,000 to have it sitting there. $25,000 is a very strange price for 5 people having cancer, maybe more eventually. So when this story had the news was looking for somebody who knows his stuff, and they contacted me. So I was fortunate enough that people accepted me, and I was put on 50 radio shows across America where they wanted to know the basics of all this stuff. And that was just before 5G really happened, which I pointed out, but it was not yet in the mind of the people. So the only way that we can enjoy the technology we want to have, I mean, we are addicted. We're addicted, frankly, to cell phones and computers, and we need them to make our money, to do our job, and our entertainment. You can keep doing this, no problem. You just have to be aware, if you don't protect yourself, you will pay the price. And you may already pay the price in various aspects, because when you torpedo yourself with electromagnetic radiation, you don't have all the same symptoms. The symptoms may be different depending on where your weakest link is in your body. Somebody develops breast cancer, somebody else develops a heart attack with the same influence. because usually it hits your body where your weakest link is in the body right from the get-go. And the problem is that basically no doctor, no hospital knows about that. I talk to doctors, some of them visit my seminars, and they admit they've never been educated in electromagnetic radiation. So when you come to a doctor and say, look, I have a heart attack, blah, 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 the doctor will never ask you, do you use Wi-Fi and cell phones? He will never ask you. In fact, in his own praxis, once you walk in, your body is sabotaged with his Wi-Fi. We're not even thinking about that this could cause the basic health issues, and it will cause them. And interesting enough, now what our friends from Cryptor Global send you, they give you a clear warning. I mean, how much clearer can it be? Cancer and reproductive harm. Why reproductive harm? We know there are plenty of studies, plenty, that the sperm count with men goes drastically down because of electromagnetic radiation. We know that the fertility with women goes drastically down. We know that electromagnetic radiation destroys your bone marrow. This is known. And we know that in most of the cases where the coronavirus was the most intense one around the world, were the centers of 5G, such as Wuhan, where it supposedly started. Wuhan was in China, the first center of 5G. So that's my message for you guys. Enjoy your lives, enjoy your jobs, enjoy the technology. I do enjoy the technology. I guarantee you. I enjoy the technology. I had one of the first mobile phones in the world. Cost me at this time $10,000, $11,000 back in the days. $10,000, $11,000 cost me my first cell phone. Must have been 80, 81, 79, 80, 81. Can't remember. Somewhere around that time. Anyway, so I do enjoy. I'm not a purist who lives in the woods and hugs the trees and says, screw the technology. No, I love technology. With one difference. I blame the industries who release products and they're not tested whether they have any side effects. And if they were tested, the side effects are not published. Example, a friend of mine used to work for Ericsson back in the days at the beginning when Ericsson was the big cell phone company in the world. And he already told me at this time, they took pigs, attached the cell phone to the head of the pig, let it run for a certain amount of time, then slaughter the pig, cut the skull open to see how far the cell phone penetrated into the skull and into the brain. They already knew that back then. Same like cigarette industry. But they keep it hush hush because they want to make money. All right, that's basically my message for today. I think that's the crash course of what I have to say about this particular theme. Unless you want to tell me more, want me to say more, unless you have questions. I hope I didn't overwhelm you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you so
Please.
much for sharing the info. I really do appreciate it. It is I'm not a tree hugger myself, although I'll high five a tree, and I'm not running off in the woods. I love technology. I make all of my money in some form or another online. So I'm a big fan. Yet I do recognize that I don't want to be microwaved. I do believe that it's harmful. It seems like a very tricky balance to live within our technological society, and we're growing. Our economy is already in America over 50%, maybe 60 at this point, and going in that direction. It doesn't seem to me, well, short of your device, which sounds wonderful, and some other devices that I've searched that do a similar thing to what you're attesting your device does, it seems very conflicting to me that I could be a person who at the same time makes my living online, will be setting up all of these things to essentially keep me away from the technology. So I'm not really sure, you know, is it the device alone that's going to protect me? Is it the time I spend in a particular area where my internet is? Like I have my stuff in an office, right? And I
Mhm.
try to keep my my router off into a corner, and I try to distance myself. I have Bluetooth keyboard and such. But
Okay.
you know, I've heard folks say, oh, you can put like some wiring in an outdoor space, you know, to protect yourself that way, right? Is your device going to protect me at the same time that I'll still have access to the
Okay.
internet? Yeah,
Okay. Thank you for your questions.
sure.
First off, you said other companies who have similar, like similar like what I do. I'm in the business intensively for 10 years.
Mhm.
I've traveled the world, so far 35 countries.
Mhm.
I've given seminars all over the places. I met people, I met products, I tested products.
Mhm.
To the best of my knowledge,
Mhm.
there's no company in the world which can be compared to us, first off.
Well, certainly I didn't mean to make a
No,
comparison.
no, no,
I
no, no,
meant
no.
like,
No. I want to make a clear statement because again, what I said before, the consumer isn't capable of distinguishing between this company, that company, what they do, what I do, right? So it's very difficult. Okay,
Mhm.
if you buy a car tomorrow, you sit in a Mercedes and you sit in a Subaru, you're an experienced driver. Within 2 minutes, you can figure out the difference and the
Mhm.
price difference. Okay, you go to a restaurant, you have order a dinner, and you say, "Look, guy, this was fantastic, right?" We have a good feel for a lot of products which we can judge. Now,
Mhm.
when it comes to these products, basically 99.9999999% of the population cannot judge. It's impossible, okay,
Mhm.
because this technology. So just for that, for the records. Secondly, all these people who say you can run a wire there, you can put it outside of your house, and all this, this is complete snake oil. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Okay.
No idea whatsoever. Um, and I'm always happy to confront these people. I'm happy to meet with them when I give workshops. I go that far when I give workshops. In my invitation to the workshops, I ask people to bring their products, which they believe do something for them. Not only cell phone, but I give health seminars with other topics to bring other products like water, for example. One of my big thing is water, because 99% of the people, for example, in this country, drink bad water and
Terrible.
permanently dehydrated.
Yeah.
So then ask them, bring the water and we'll check it out. Bring your cell phone protection, we check it out. I don't want to know the brand, I don't want to know the company, we'll just test it. And you see for yourself, it works, it doesn't work. So all these gimmicks, or people came, I wrap up my cell phone in aluminum foil, and all this jazz, all this is it's complete nonsense. Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, in and there's not, you cannot be a bit pregnant. You're pregnant or you're not pregnant. Means the cell phone protection works or it doesn't work. If it works only half, you still get bombarded with the other half, which is again too much to be bombarded with.
Mhm.
So our technology is based on the fact that you're using what we all want to use. You use your Wi-Fi, you use your computer, you're sitting in your office, you have 2, 3, 4 screens, you have a wireless phone, you have a outside on the building, a smart meter, you have your own Wi-Fi, you have 5 Wi-Fi from the neighbors up and down next to you, all penetrating you.
Mhm.
We do not care how many there are, um, whether you actively use them or switch them off, or it doesn't matter. In most cases, they're switched on. You are permanently, let me use the word shielded against the negative part of that technology, which means you can use it,
Mm.
but the price you're paying for what we call the harmful part of the frequency
Mhm.
is done. It's handled.
Oh.
It's very hard to understand because it's quantum physics. Anya, can you, at the end today, email to the participants the write-up on the technology which I forwarded you last time?
Yes, I'll be happy to share that with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
I
Norbert,
yes.
very as an example, because I love, the water molecule, or the words happy and anger, that it actually changes the actual molecule itself.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, she refers now to my water technology, which is a different topic. Don't want to go there today, but either the technology works or does not work. And to make a technology, for example, which only works when you switch off your machine, what's the use of it? You must be able to use all your gadgets to the fullest without any consideration on consequences to your medical situation, to your wellness, to your beingness, to your health. And that's again what the Besa Institute in Austria tested. I have a test which shows, as an example, somebody in the house is being penetrated by Wi-Fi, so his own one next door. They analyze, like, I don't know, I must count them, 15 functions in your body, the liver and the gallbladder and the heart and the lungs and the whatever, you know. They test them and they show how these organs and functions in the body are sabotaged by the electromagnetic radiation. Good. Then they put this device in the room and they test the person again. And then you see how the functions which were harmed all of a sudden are fully working again in a health condition. And this expertise is available. And it's a scientific proof that we do this. So back to your question, I think the bottom line is, it is nonsense to try anything other than what we do, because everything else we found and we saw does not truly work. And we guarantee that for 10 years with each product. We don't know what come up in 10 years. We may have to redesign, we have to develop, we keep developing. And this is a quantum physics computer, which means I can program that computer. It's programmed now for 4G and 5G. Now comes the kicker. If you have this computer in your house and in 1 year comes out 6G, I will upload the program of 6G in your computer at home. You don't have to turn it in. We upload it wherever you are in the world. Whether you move to Africa or you're in the Antarctic or you're in New York, it doesn't matter. In quantum physics, which is a different subject, but in quantum physics, knows no time, no place, no space, we can transfer the energy and the technology into your product. We can upgrade it later without extra charge. So does that answer your question?
It provides some clarity. I feel like I hear the wonderful benefits of this product. I see you wearing one around your neck. I imagine that's like a personal.
No, that's something else. I don't. This one is the one we're talking about. Okay.
Okay.
The one I'm wearing around my neck. I want to protect myself from COVID-19.
Okay. So essentially, the value proposition on this product is I can have this technology, computer technology, somewhere in my home, and it will, for lack of a better term, reconfigure the harmful radiation and protect me while I'm still utilizing the technology.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And and when Anya, after we've been done now, and a few, when Anya emails you, it's about an 8-page explanation, which now isn't the time to do that. If you read that 8-page explanation, and I think I made it, though quantum physics is a difficult subject, I try to make it very easy and clear. And please get back to me with the feedback, thumbs up or down, and if you have any follow-up questions. But in these 8 pages, I clearly explained how does it work. Okay. And you have always 2 chances in life. I'm full of crap or it's true.
Yeah.
You must decide. You listen to the information, you read the information, makes it sense. And again, you don't need to believe me. We have the scientific studies. If I wouldn't have them, I would still be as cocky as I am now, but I wouldn't have anything big to back it up. But now I have it.
Yeah, I actually already sent it to Jasmine and Isaiah. on WhatsApp, so you already have it.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's always in life, you know, you have to make the ultimate decision, and you have to listen to what people say and offer, and does it make sense or does it make no sense? And if that what we say is backed up with scientific study, look, you don't have a scientific study from the other side that the cell phone when you bought it or the Wi-Fi does not harm your body. They don't guarantee that it does not harm your body.
They do not.
When I'm in front of those people, or I say, look, Mr. Blah, 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 you represent this company. Can you personally guarantee that this product is not harmful?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever said to me, I guarantee that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We say we guarantee it, we have the proof, and we have a 10-year warranty. I can't do more than that. But feel free to think about it and ask me or come back later, whatever reservations you may have. We made it for people. This is why I got together with Crypto Global, because they said, look, the people we work with have all computers through the wazoo in their offices,
Mm-hmm.
multiple, have all the gadgets you can ever think and imagine, which are futuristic and which gives them the speed and the technology to be upfront out there. This is why they approached me, said, hey, we would like to feature you because we believe that our customers need it more than anybody else, because they mostly are technology freaks who want to use that. And from what I'm saying, if you go on YouTube, there is a book, crap, I have it at home, I don't have it here. There's a book from a whistleblower from the Canadian Army, Major General Flynn. You can find it on Amazon, 5G Flynn, Flynn. I've never read a book which has all the information. He's a whistleblower. He was in the army. The second whistleblower is Dr. Barry Trower, Barrie, Trower, Trower, in the UK, with whom I am in personal contact. Barry Trower was a warfare electromagnetic radiation weapon developer for the British Army. An elderly, beautiful gentleman. He speaks out publicly. He gives workshops, speeches. On YouTube, you can find a dozen of his presentation where he talks what the truth is. So these are the two biggest whistleblower I know in the entire industry. And then there's a professor, Dr. Olle Johansson from Sweden. He's one of the biggest experts when it comes down to electromagnetic radiation and the harmfulness, especially for children. So I'm not alone. I mean, there are people out there, not the big industry, of course not. They don't want to spit in their own soup. You know, they want to make money. Now think about this. We had so far 4G, right?
Yes.
We have, like in America, we have a population of about 330 million, give and take.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 350 million cell phones in use. Most of the countries have more mobile cell phones in use than population. And so in the world, we have give and take at the moment 8 billion cell phones. Now follow my thinking. 8 billion cell phones. Which is the biggest growing market by the population for the cell phones? Children and toddlers. Every adult has a cell phone, every teenager. You can see nowadays in the streets, 2, 3, 4-year-old kids using smartphones to be entertained. All right. So we have 8 billion cell phones on the planet. Now think along business. Tomorrow, today, we have a secure market of 8 billion new cell phones. Can you think along that line? Everybody who has no 4G, sooner or later, will have to drop it and buy 5G. Besides that, many people want to have the 5G because they want to have the coolest thing, right? So the industry has a safe business of 5 billion new cell phones. I just, as an owner of a company, shareholder, I just lay back and on the beach and say, okay, the money's coming in the door. I just need to wait. It's safe business. And I understand, and I agree, and I have one. I have a 4G, I don't have a 5G yet. And I understand. But I have the big advantage that I know what's going on, and I knew it for the last 10 years at least, and I developed the technology because I said, if I want to save, and I did it for my grandkids first. I wanted to save the life of my grandkids. Later on, it was a family. Later on, it was friends. And then it developed. I didn't expect that 10, 12 years ago, that I'd be doing what I'm doing today. I was just pulled in. I had a call and I said, it has to be done. Big industry doesn't do it. When I developed my technology, people said, oh, you're becoming rich now. Because they put it in every cell phone, the companies. I said, no, they will not. If they would put it in their cell phone right from the moment they sell it to you, they would admit that they have a mistake, a problem.
Right.
All right, my friends. It's 8:04. We passed about nearly an hour. If you have any more questions, I'll be happy to answer that. Otherwise, we call it tonight. And I wish you all healthy, a healthy life, a healthy Christmas. But life doesn't stop with Christmas. And whether it's me or somebody else, if you find somebody who gives you the technology and the support and the peace of mind, do it. I mean, who today drives a car without a safety belt? When I was a teenager, there were no safety belts. Then I saw the first safety belts coming out. Nowadays, that somebody does not wear a safety belt is hard to be found. Why? Because they don't want to take a chance. I said the other day to my grandkids, it's not the question whether I drive poor or bad. What about the other guy who's coming across the street? Like I was T-boned with my 1967 Eldorado convertible by a stupid woman who ignored the red light and T-boned my beautiful 1967 Eldorado convertible. But nobody would basically live without a safety belt in driving the car. Why? Because we know there's a chance to have an accident. Now with cell phone, it's completely different. There is no chance. You will be harmed. I can guarantee you this. I can sign this with my blood. With a car, I could say, I could get away maybe for 10, 20 years and never have an accident. I don't need the belt. You never know when you need it. But here with a cell phone, I can guarantee you, you are harmed every second you use it. The consequences may show in 2 years and 5 years and 10 years. We don't know because it's accumulative. And if you look at the statistics of cancer are like this. At the moment, every third person dies of cancer, every third person. And it goes further up. Now, if you check the development of the electromagnetic radiation in the last 50 years, goes parallel with the development of cancer. That's obvious. And the armies admitted, there's paper from the armies and from the World Health Organization who admitted. Again, if you read this book from Mr. Flynn, 5G, he gives you all the data you need to know. I'm not making this up. I'm not smart enough to make that up. These are facts. If you have people in the army, whistleblowers, who have been working with this stuff and had access to all this, they don't do this just for fun. They're in the 60s, 70s, no, 70s, 80s, and they just want to get the truth out because they feel bad about what happened. So, cell phones, you don't take chances. You are already harmed, and you will be harmed every minute, every second you use all this technology. I just hope you get away with it. if you're not protected, if you want to be protected, well, call Anya and get your products and get them going and give them for Christmas to your best friends, to your wife, to your children, at least some responsibility. If you see that this is all going on, this is true. All right.
Thank you so much, Norbert. Thank you for the wonderful information. We truly are here to, enlighten everybody about this topic and any, other health concern topics as well. We will have these meetings about once a month. And also we will cover, other products that he invented in regards to water. You all have our links already on Cryptor Global Health. It's a direct link where you can find the products and you could order them. You will receive them before Christmas. Everything is in stock. So it is the best gift that you can give yourself and others. We have the privilege of all these beautiful devices and all this technology. And it's really a small price to pay to have it protected. So thank you, Norbert.
Good night. Thanks a lot, guys. One of these days, I hope I have the pleasure to meet you in a seminars of mine, face to face for a day, where we walk through all this and make tests and proofs. Okay.
I would love that. Actually, as a really short, message to that, we had the pleasure to meet Norbert in Orlando, and it is fascinating. You will understand the. I was just blown away by the test that he does on you. That's really when you see that it works. So yeah, I look forward to that. That will be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank
Good.
you, Norbert.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, Stephanie. Good night, Isaiah. Good night, Charles. Good night,
Wonderful
everyone.
information.
Happy holidays.
Thank you, Anya. Good night.
Pleasure. Good night. We have a rocket going up as we speak.
Okay, Anya. So you emailed them this write up, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks a lot, my love.
My pleasure.
Bye bye. Bye bye, Robert. Bye bye.